Welcome to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, a big butch manly movie podcast who wants you to turn off the charm. We're immune. I'm Shane Holland.
Andrew Wheeler. So, what are we covering today, Shane?
Today we are covering Goldfinger, the 1964 James Bond spy movie. It's directed by Guy Hamilton, screenplay by Richard Maibaum and Paul Dane, based on the novel by Ian Fleming. It stars, of course, Sean Connery, with the incredible Honor Blackman, Burt Frobe, Shirley Eaton, Tanya Mallet, and Harold Sakata.
Great cast.
Fantastic cast.
So Goldfinger was the third Bond movie, but was based on the seventh Bond novel, which was released 5 years earlier. So quick turnaround on this one. It's almost like a Suzanne Collins Hunger Games novel. It is the first Bond film to win an Oscar for sound editing, the first blockbuster Bond. The budget was more than Dr. No and From Russia with Love combined. And it introduced many of the staples of the franchise, including the gadgets, the expendable women, not the expandable women, although they could expand Pussy Galore's part considerably, and I would be happy.
Or any of them, really.
Non-sequitorial opening scene.
We got there.
Explain that to me. And so much more. Something to do with horse racing, right?
Something to do with horse racing, yeah, absolutely. Just like the film, it's not really discussed at length. So in this film, if you are unaware, if you live under a rock and you're watching this podcast of all podcasts, you must know that Bond is tasked with tracking the titular gold exporter and suspected smuggler, Auric Goldfinger. He uncovers Goldfinger's plot to irradiate the U.S. gold reserve at Fort Knox. What a simple breakdown for a convoluted film, but also the best Bond film? We've had this discussion, you and I, many times. Is it the best? Is it the blueprint, or can it be both?
Great question. I mean, it is absolutely the blueprint. Like, that part, I think, is beyond discussion. Like Dr. No and From Russia with Love both establish a lot of great things that recur throughout the franchise. Great hench people, great, like, just dramatic villains, the whole sitting down with the villain for a lovely meal.
And getting a lovely speech out of it.
Motifs. Yes, yes. But yeah, this is where it all slides into place and you feel like, oh yeah, this is a complete, whole, realized Bond movie. But is it also the best? I mean, it's much debated, especially since the Daniel Craig era, where so many of those films, two of those films, are very highly regarded, and Craig himself is very rightly highly regarded. But I think, yeah,
I just need to note. You didn't say the Pierce Brosnan films. I just want to be clear that wasn't the height of James Bond for you.
I don't remember the conversation being about the Pierce Brosnan films, but maybe I was asleep. I was in university. I was drunk. I think now that the hype has calmed down a bit, we can look back and say, no, Sean Connery's still the boss, and despite his flaws, and this is still the best James Bond movie, partly because of the camp element of it, but the design elements, I think, are what for me make it so impeccable, and the theatricality of it all. What about you? What do you think?
I mean, so this was, of course, like so many of us, one of my first Bond films. I think it shaped my cultural tastes as well.
Yeah.
The high fashion, the incredible sets, the incredible miniatures. I love practical effects in a movie. It works so much better, even in the 60s, than CGI sometimes works today. Looking at you, Kraven the Hunter. Have I seen this or Thunderball more? I'm not sure, but they kind of occupy the same space for me. And like, those are my beloved classics. Those are the two that I cherish the most and that I think speak to what the franchise does best. And I think you said it, like, it's not just the blueprint, but it's perfectly executed. It's got the girls, it's got the gadgets, it's got the guns, check. But also it's this captivating story with the right amount of humor and good humor and like incredible performances too. Sean Connery is at the height of his game in this, and Honor Blackman, every time she's on screen, it's a revelation. Gert Frobe, even though it's not his actual voice playing the part of Goldfinger, he sells it and is this menacing Trumpian Muskian monster, obsessed with gold, just like Trump. And I mean, he sells it. They all three of them. And I also should say Harold Sakata, Odd Job. What a great silent film performance he pulls off. He's so menacing uh and yeah, it's just like a tight performance and I love every minute of this film except for that one scene which we will talk about.
Yeah, we will.
We have to.
Yeah, I would say this is my most rewatched. You're right. Thunderball is also like one of those ones that, especially if you're a fan, you keep going back to Thunderball. But Thunderball, I feel, is a bit more of a slog compared to this. Like this one goes down so smooth, so easy, whereas
Like a
Thunderball
mint
is a
julep.
little clunkier. Like still close to perfect, still one of the best. But like, yeah, Thunderball, I just don't think has the pacing that this one has.
Well, you film half of a movie underwater in 1965, and the pace is going to have to slow down considerably.
Slows things down. You know, like, look what we can do. We're going to do it for half an hour. Please stop. Yeah, so this is platonic ideal Bond movie.
Mm.
From opening scene to the incoherent action ending. Like even those two like bookends are present and correct.
Should we like dive into all of it? I mean, I don't want to go plot beat by plot beat, so let's just
No, no.
start off
We don't do that
with
anymore.
we don't do that anymore. Let's talk about the women, the most important part of this movie, I think.
Yes, I mean, even if it were just the one woman, Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore is indelible in the culture. She is one of the most, I think, vibrant screen heroines or screen characters of all time. But
Mhm.
before we get to Pussy Galore, just even the incidental women, like the minor character roles in this movie, are great. We have Bonita, we have Dink,
Mhm.
we have Melee. Was it
Mhm.
Melee?
Melee,
We have Sydney, the pilot
of course.
in the Flying Circus. So all of these like tiny roles. Bonita's in the pre-title sequence. Dink is post-title. Melee is on the plane as the waitress, the sort of
The
stewardess.
stewardess.
And Sydney, as I said, is the sort of pilot or co-pilot with Pussy Galore. So
Not
that's
to
Nadia
mention,
Regan.
sorry, I was going to say not to mention the rest of the flying circus, but I please give the women their
Yes.
due. Their the actors' names.
Nadia Regan plays Benita. She also appeared in From Russia with Love. I still haven't worked out if that can possibly be the same role. Dink
Hmm.
is played by Margaret Nolan, the sort of classic flighty, like blonde, like beach blanket bingo kind of character. I mean, her name is Dink.
She's
Melee
also
is
the
played
title
by.
card gold woman.
She is, yes,
Something
that
to
is.
point out that she like got the most out of that role as she could. She is
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
for being in one scene and also the most iconic Bond opening theme credits ever.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely worth like acknowledging. Margaret Nolan is the most famous Bond woman you don't know the name of, basically. Mai Ling is Melee, and Trisha Muller plays Sydney, who is the African American member, or one of, I can't remember if there were multiple. She's the most significant African American pilot in the Flying Circus. So for that reason, she sort of stands out as a particularly cool character that you want to get to know, and then she's gone.
Give me the Pussy Galore's Flying Circus miniseries on Amazon Prime, honestly.
Honestly, honestly.
You also did not mention the gun-toting granny, who I think also deserves her own backstory.
Yeah.
I could devote 2 hours to that woman, how she got to be the security guard at Goldfinger at Oric Enterprises, how she got to be so good at holding a gun and firing a machine gun.
Aims
What's
a
she
little
all
off.
about?
She's great. She's such a surprise as well when she pops up in the film.
Every time.
Bless her.
I mean, besides Dink, starting at the top, Jill Masterson. What an incredible start to this film. She's feisty, she's memorable, and she's only in two scenes, but like two of the greatest scenes in, I think, cinema history. I mean, I would just have that image of her dipped in gold burned in my mind forever, as I think so many others do who appreciate this franchise and who appreciate cinema. Jill Masterson cocked her leg so Bosco could run around in a bra and panty set. The last
So
time you and
true.
I actually watched this film together, Bosco was on Drag Race just as she is this time around.
My
That's
God, she's an omen. She's the
a
what
harbinger.
is it? The herald? Yes. I mean, honestly, Bosco's makeup is pretty like 60s sharp.
Yeah.
Distracted. Shirley Eaton plays Jill. Yeah, it's an iconic like supporting role. She's so like she gets such good dialogue, such good snap with Connery, and the death is the most famous death I think in Bond, maybe one of the most famous in movies. Difficult to stop and think about how they executed that. Like, did they take her away, dip her, bring her back? Because the bed sheets would be covered in gold otherwise. I mean, it's very confusing. And was she actually alive? Because he gives this whole thing about, oh yes, this happens to exotic dancers. They've been known to asphyxiate from painting their bodies, and you have to leave a little hole at the base of the spine. It's like, none of that's true. All of it is nonsense.
But
Turns
I
out we do most
love
of our breathing through our lungs, not our skin. So
it turns out. I mean, I don't know about you, but I just osmose air.
it's
My favorite line of hers, well, it's a great exchange, I should say. Bond asks, why does he do it? And she says, he likes to win. Why do you do it? He pays me. I mean, James Bond said sex work is real work.
yeah, perfect. This film does come pretty close to the Dahl three women idea, which I should explain to anyone who is not familiar with it. Roald Dahl, who would go on to write You Only Live Twice, and who adapted Ian Fleming's novel Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. They were great buds. And Dahl's theory of the Bond woman was that there's always the good girl that dies, the good girl that survives, and the bad girl that turns, I think is the
That's
three woman
correct.
model,
Yeah.
turns and then dies for her sin. And like actually when you break it down, like the only movie that actually fully satisfies that is the one that Roald Dahl wrote. But this one comes really close to it, you know, except that the good girl dies and the bad girl survives,
Ooh.
turns and survives.
And I mean, I break that mold because it's a terrible model. Also, the three woman model sounds like either a three-headed beast walking a Gautier runway
Fabulous
or
walk.
or one of the worst Sherlock Holmes novels.
It couldn't be a Sherlock Holmes novel. There would never be three women in it.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah.
Moneypenny is at her most Moneypenny in this film. Lois Maxwell looking gorgeous, always flirty, always fun to watch. In the first two films, James is the one who flings his bowler onto the hat rack. But in this one, Moneypenny gets to do it, just to show that she is also capable. And then we never come back to her.
Eventually, a Moneypenny will get to hold a gun,
And then
but
we
not
never
for
come
another
back to her. Is a
50
phrase that
years.
suggests a character.
My phone just started talking at me.
Fun.
Yeah. The next woman in line in this film, Tilly Masterson, Jill's sister, who is out on a revenge mission. She has so much power and so much grace and is ultimately the most tragic figure in this film. I mean, both of the Masterson sisters are led to their death because of James Bond's actions. Let's unpack that, I suppose.
Both are killed by Oddjob.
Both are
He
killed
really
by
gets around.
Oddjob. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if James had never interfered with their machinations, they'd probably both be alive and well.
Yeah. Very likely.
Yeah.
I mean, or British intelligence would have found some other way to ruin their lives. But yeah, Tilly, very tragic character. Tanya Mallet plays the role to icy perfection. She is I mean, she's witty, she's stylish. She reminds me a bit of Elizabeth Debicki in, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
Except that she's heroic. But just like the height and like pointedness of her is very reminiscent of that. The fact that this is a woman who does not succumb to Bond's charms at all, is not interested and is not even like tempted. And she's too cool to meet the fate that she does. Like she's such a great minor character and a great character in the books and the book. So yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
real shame.
I'd love to talk about the novel treatment of Tilly in context to this. In the novel, she's in it from the time we meet her in the film, trying to seek revenge against Goldfinger in the Swiss Alps, but all the way up until Fort Knox. And through that time, her and James kind of double duty the secretary role that James ends up taking in the film. But what is cut out of the film is the love story between Tilly and Pussy Galore. Tilly was a lesbian icon in the novel and is kind of murdered because of that, which, I mean, kill your gays, I guess. But how awesome would it have been in 1964 to have this strong female character who is into another woman. How would that have dominated the talking points of culture that we have?
I mean, maybe, knowing men, it would have been the end of the franchise and we would never talk about Bond again.
This is true. This is true.
And we would all be talking about My Man Flint movies or something. We are both proponents of them remaking the novels because there are plenty of literary franchises that get readapted, and it's been 60 years since they last made Goldfinger, so let's do it again. But this time, let's have the two women go off together, happily ever after, both of them ditching Bond. It would not only be more progressive, more feminist, more like subverting the Bond franchise, but also it would be OG Bond because it's what happens in the book. So the nerds can't even complain.
Honestly, it would just be so much more satisfying than what does happen, which just sucks. It sucks. I mean,
So sucks.
bisexuality exists, so I'm totally fine with Pussy Galore being interested in both Tilly and James, which is kind of what happens in the novel. I mean, does James force himself on Pussy in the novel as well? I'm pretty sure he does because 1959. But the Tilly of it all, I mean, she just gets such a shitty end in this movie. She is this gun-toting badass who is trying to get revenge, and she doesn't care about James whatsoever. And the moment he tries to interfere, he fucks it all up. And she dies running away from a henchman in the middle of the night, and he barely looks at her twice. It's awful. We miss out on all of the character development that the character gets in the novel, and that sucks. Otherwise, a great film.
Should we reiterate? We're fans of the Bond franchise, but we
Yeah.
don't go in blind to any of this.
No, I mean, how can you in this day and age not acknowledge? Well, okay, you could be the president of the United States or one of his many underlings.
We know how you can, and
we choose not to.
but let's talk about the woman that lives.
Yes, thank God. And the savior of this film in so many ways. Honor Blackman, straight off of her time on the Avengers television series, doing the Lord's work. She is just so fabulous. She's so amazing to watch. She holds her own against Sean Connery, against James Bond the entire way. And she has all the power in the relationship. And she's just so cool. She's so cool, Andrew. I want to be her when I grow up.
Still time. She is so deliciously unflappable, so confident. She doesn't get tricked by him like, you would expect, like other women tend to do, because that's how the stories play out. She was pioneering, like to have this woman wear the trousers and be completely cool and calm and confident and know what's going on at all times. The fact that she's older than Bond, like that's something that should still be like worth flagging and celebrating. It wouldn't be till Monica Bellucci in Spectre. No, yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. It would be 60 years, and we would finally get another Bond woman older than Bond, which is insane. Although you couldn't have had Bond women older than Roger Moore, that would be
impossible.
Unfair to the poor
Literally
women
impossible.
getting out of the hospital beds.
Come on, Granny, it's your turn to kiss Roger Moore.
I don't want to. No, you can't make me. I drove ambulances in the war, you know. So, yes, we have an older Bond woman. She is elegant. She is grace. She's
Miss United States.
She's Miss United. She is not Miss United States. She has so many great lines and moments. Like the moment where he's like, here's to Operation Grand Slam, trying to trick her into revealing what she knows about Grand Slam. And she does not flinch. She does not look at him. She in no way acknowledges that she knows what that is. And she knows what that is. The other great line when he says, he kills little girls like you. And she says, little boys too. It's just, and also maybe this should be on like everyone's business cards. I never carry weapons after business hours. Classy.
So classy. So classy. Oh yeah, she's incredible. She oozes fashion through her platinum blonde hair and her perfect pores as well. I mean, okay, we have so much more to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the fashion because that's coming.
We have a whole section on that.
We have a whole section on that. Let's move on and talk about the boys.
This is a shorter conversation, I think.
Yes.
Because it's just really Sean Connery. He is the only boy, but he's quite a boy in this one. Like, he is very attractive in this film. He is absolutely at his peak. He is wearing the again, this slipping into fashion, but he's wearing those little blue shorts by the swimming pool. He's wearing the
Oh, yeah.
white tuxedo. He's like, he has so many iconic looks in this movie, and he looks trim and handsome and suave. And you can understand how someone who's not usually into men would be like, well, maybe that man. You
Yeah.
know, like all the straight boys who are like, well, maybe Henry Cavill. Like, you know, you get that vibe.
Absolutely. I mean, God, when he's in that golf outfit and you can see his bulge in those tight golfing pants, I had a moment.
New balls, please. Oh, wait, that's a tennis saying. I don't know
Right.
sport.
It doesn't matter. This isn't a sporting podcast.
No, it's but despite the golf, but golf isn't really a sport, so that's fine.
Exactly. Don't tell my dad that. I mean, yeah, everything he wears is incredible. He's giving an amazing performance. He's the most tuned into the character in this film out of all six in his tenure. And that's about it. Like there's really no one else to talk about. There's some incidental hotties in particularly in Miami at the Fontainebleau resort. Lots of skimpy underwear and beautiful men just lounging around by the pool, which I'm fine with, honestly.
I enjoyed. The very first thing post-title sequence is this very trim fellow in white square-cut trunks diving off the high dive board,
Mm-hmm.
diving into the pool, and then you sort of follow him into the water. It's like, he's in very good shape.
Yeah.
Here's a trim fella. Also at Fort Knox, we have a lot of soldiers in like tight white t-shirts with tan biceps bulging out at the sleeve. So, you know, that's enjoyable too. The only other hottie that I would want to mention is there's a young Burt Kwok is in this film. Burt Kwok, who is
Yes.
beloved of the Pink Panther movies and would later go on to star in Last of the Summer Wine. So, you know, he's a household staple in the UK at this point, I feel like, or was. And here we see him being very young and distressed, a scientist. So just nice to see him.
I also don't want to write off Odd Job just because he's this large menacing figure. He's also pretty handsome and like as a muscle bear could definitely get it.
True, he's not sexualized at all, and he's always wearing the same outfit. So yeah, I never think of him in those ways. But you're right. He deserves a shout out. We could have a sexy Odd Job.
Yeah, why not? Moving on, the music. I mean, what can one say about one of the most iconic songs in cinema history that hasn't been said before?
I mean, we've said it before. Yeah, this is maybe the best Bond theme of all time. Shirley Bassey belting for the heavens, for the gods. It's just so much fun. Like, it's so camp. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
And it's so Shirley's range, you know? And
Yeah.
Shirley knows range.
She has it.
So she has it and she gives it. But just, I mean, overall, this movie has so many great like orchestral swirls. You get to hear the theme in like a jazzy version. You get the Bond theme with sort of urgent stabby strings.
Mm-hmm.
It's a treat musically all the way through this film.
Yeah, it like the more so than in Dr. No and From Russia with Love, this cemented the music as doing tone setting. Like it really amps up the action or it gives emotional weight to love scenes and death scenes in a way that wasn't happening in the previous two films. And sometimes it is not captured in some of the later films, particularly as music gets a bit more genre-y and feels more of the time. Like I'm looking at some of the 70s soundtracks, a lot of the 90s soundtracks. This one feels like you could pop it in a movie today and it would still work.
Yeah, like if when you watch Doctor No, there are like these sinister spy moments in the music, and they just feel so dated and like they were lifted from like a TV show or something,
or a
and here they
Godzilla
get
film.
this,
Yeah.
to the film, and here the sinister spy refrains work really well, and the romantic swells work really well. Like it's all like they've learned how to moderate for the media.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, the fashion.
This is a big topic.
This is a huge topic. We've already been doing this for 40 minutes and I think we are about to go on another 40-minute rant.
I have things to do in my life. No, it's true. Let's do it.
No.
Okay. One of the most important fashion movies of all time, possibly. Certainly the most important fashion movie of the Bond franchise, and one of the most important fashion movies of the season. I don't know. I think people who know fashion and know movies know that, but I don't know if like the wider audience recognizes how important this film is in menswear, in women's wear, in just like the aesthetic of an era.
Mhm.
It's absolutely like vital. It's gold.
Damn, it's the gold standard. And it starts off with a gold birthday suit. I mean, Jill Masterson dipped in gold in itself is like it's luxe, it's glamour, it screams fashion to me. It is something I would
It's
love to
erotic,
recreate
it's
in my
forbidden.
personal life. Exactly. Actually, no, what it really starts with is the white tux, which
Yes.
not anyone can wear. But somehow Sean Connery pulls it off. And when he pops in that red carnation and seals its fate as the height of menswear, that is
Yeah.
a moment for me.
And he's wearing that dinner jacket under a diving suit. Like, you know,
Yeah. How does he
that's a
keep it
man
so
who knows how to
crisp?
press his suit. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's almost unbelievable.
Almost as unbelievable as the seagull hat helmet.
But two other incredible Sean Connery looks in this film that deserve equal praise. The terry cloth shorty onesie, the play suit that he's wearing
I
at the
am
Fontainebleau.
still looking to find that for my own wardrobe.
Like you can buy the replica, but it's so expensive. I feel like all of our Brown should be making a new version of that, which would also be way outside my budget. I can't afford all of our Brown. They do the modern Bond, like they do some of the modern Bond costuming, and Jonathan Bailey wears a lot of all of our Brown, so I think about it a lot.
Mm, of course, of course. Research, purely
Crumpled
research.
on the floor.
Yeah, purely
So yeah,
research.
that terry cloth onesie is so now, honestly. Like I remember there was a
Yeah.
time when that look was sort of laughed at, like a man wearing that outfit, which A, the problem is you, not him, and B, we have come way around on like onesies, on men wearing short shorts. Like, yeah, that is absolutely fashion of the moment again
I mean,
now.
go to any pride celebration and you will
Yeah.
see men wearing only that short shorts and little onesies that hide absolutely nothing. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bring it back. Keep it here.
The other outfit I want to call out is the Grey Glen check suit.
Thank you.
Leanly tailored to a very lean Sean Connery. It's the best suit that any James Bond. He'll wear it several times. He'll wear it on Her Majesty's Secret Service when played by a different actor, and again wear it impeccably well. But yeah, like that Grey Glen check is so iconic and so handsome and smart. Like
When my
it's
uncle
not
got
as
married, he demanded that his wedding suit and the suit that the wedding party wore that gray Glen check suit. And so I have worn that tux and I mean, I will never reach that height of fashion again in my own personal life, but I am striving to recreate it.
it was very modern, and it sort of was a bit of a revolution, I think, in men's tailoring. Like you can look this sharp. It doesn't have to be like fusty to wear a suit. It doesn't have to be boring. Like it can
No,
be fashion.
in the color gray, which is not the most
Yeah.
exciting color, but it just somehow works. It's the fine details. It is the cut. It's the way that the cuff just pops out just enough that you can see it. It's the shoulders, which are just finely bricked, and the way it doesn't like drape like a curtain against his body. It's just so fine.
Shout out to Goldfinger's looks in this movie as well, just briefly,
Yes.
because, he's a larger man and he's not inherently glamorous despite his love of gold, but he has some great little outfits, like his pajama set at the Fontainebleau, his golf suit, which is all different shades of like golds and gold adjacent colors, very well matched, very dapper. He's
Yeah,
he's actually got it
absolutely.
going on fashion wise.
I almost was going to say that I would take Trump more seriously if he dressed like Goldfinger, but I couldn't take Trump more seriously, so that cancels that out.
Wild how Trumpian this character is, given that he predates Trump, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's crazy because you cannot
scary.
now watch this movie without thinking of that man because of all the bombast and the self-regard. And he says things like during the movie, watching it this time, he would say things and I would think, oh my God, that's so Trumpian. Um,
Yeah,
like Trump might be modeling himself on Auric Goldfinger, except Goldfinger has more class and more style
and a
and
plan.
dresses for his
Yeah,
body size.
yeah, yeah. If only I would rather President Goldfinger than President Trump.
Absolutely.
At least we know he would take down the police state. Moving on.
And he would employ minorities, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, equality, equity. We need to move on from this before this gets taken off and us demonetized. Pussy galore, everything she wears is fashion, but I have to shout out her lavender top and violet bottoms on the Kentucky ranch. What a statement. It is so feminine for but it toes that masculine line. Like, she's wearing a shirt and trousers and she makes it look both masculine and feminine. It looks non-binary. I'm going to say that.
The fashion would be considered very masculine at the time, I think. And you look back at it now and you can see that the sort of chic feminine elegance of it is what sort of stands out. But yeah, she's wearing trousers throughout. Even when Goldfinger says, go slip into something like a bit sexier, basically. He's like, let's make Bond feel welcome so that the CIA knows he's not in trouble. And that's when she puts on the violet look, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so like her idea of something more comfortable is just more crushed velvet.
Of course.
Still pants. The black and gold ensemble that she's wearing, I think when he first meets her, stunning. Turtleneck and brown corduroy. Just the white ensemble at the end of the movie, which is sort of an inverse of her first look. Yeah, she has multiple standout looks in this movie, and they all have a similar silhouette. This is definitely a woman with her own style, but it's groundbreaking and it's gorgeous at every step.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then she has all her angels, her flying circus with these pointy, conical.
I love pointy boobs. There's just something
so
pre-1975 that is like, how do they all come out like this and then like swoop back in? It doesn't make sense. What were the bras that they were wearing? It must have been so uncomfortable.
And you're flying a plane. Like, I mean, thank God they didn't have airbag technology, because it's just going to crush it right away.
Ow.
But Pussy never wears the uniform. She's too big for the uniform.
She's the leader, yeah.
Stature.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure she could be tailored into anything. I also want to shout out the set design. That kind of comes under fashion, right?
Yeah, why not?
Like, this is one of the great Bond movies for sets, and the one that stands out to me is the Grand Slam debriefing set, where you have this incredible lounge, sort of sunken lounge area with the shutters that come down, the table that spins around, and it's all so supervillain. But it's also so chic. It's like, this is my dream rumpus room. Like, back in an era where people had something called a rumpus room. Impeccable.
I also love the heroin lounge, the heroin refinery. I mean, at the very beginning of the movie, I don't personally love a heroin refinery. I just mean, like, when he walks into that room, it looks beautiful. There's like plants everywhere and like steel walls, but there's something cozy about it. There's a lot of black leather in there. And I mean, there's also a heroin refinery. So just going to put that over there and look at the rest of it over here.
2010s hipster brewery bar, you know?
Yes, very that. Your local brew pub.
Yeah. Like, let's put some Tiffany style lamps here and throw a curtain over there. And, also, the watch in this film is a Rolex Submariner, and I mention that just to make sure people understand that that's not the same thing as a Solex Agitator. We'll come to that in a different movie.
Right, the thing that captures the sun's rays and turns it into a laser, I presume?
That's right, yeah. Rolex never made one of those. That's a Solex, not a Rolex.
Damn it. Is he wearing a Solex?
Which one's more expensive, actually? Like, a device that turns the sun's rays into a laser, or a Rolex Submariner?
Probably the Rolex. We've seen what the Solex Agitator looks like, and it's cheap. I need to mention one more piece of fashion that I don't think you care about particularly, but is very important to the franchise and to me. The Aston Martin DB5. A fashion piece unto itself. It is the other Bond woman in this film. And I mean, this introduced us to the gadget car and to the to gadgets in general in Bond films. They've been a staple ever since. But I mean, it's a beautiful machine. I don't care if you don't appreciate it, but it has curves and it's fast and peppy and it's loud, but not in like a kind of way. It's more like a purr, a hum, and you just want to like open that thing up to 100 miles per hour and switch your license plate so that you're from Austria and pop out your headlights and shoot the machine gun while squirting some oil from your backside. There's a better way
Using
to
the
say
thing.
that.
Can I just say, it's not that I don't appreciate it, it's just that I only appreciate it as design. I don't care about cars. So to me, it's like a beautiful car and a beautiful espresso machine are both equally beautiful and both equally irrelevant to my needs. I can't drive and I don't drink coffee, but I love them to look at.
Fair, fair. Well, I would love to drive that car, and I would also love to look at it. I will never be able to afford an Aston Martin DB.
If you do ever get to ride in one, I'm happy to sit in the back, you know? Wait,
Okay,
there is no
great.
back. Is there
No,
a
but I
back?
will put you in the
No.
ejector seat. And the moment you say something that goes against my love for that car, I'm just gonna hover over that button.
No, I'll just say something about the Pierce Brosnan movies, and it'd be fun to be ejected, wouldn't it? I mean, you get a
Honestly,
parachute,
right?
right?
It does seem kind of good.
Speaking about being out there, let's get into the queerness
Good
of this
segue.
film.
Good segue. So, this is one of 3 Bond films where there is actual queerness in the text. Maybe this
5,
least of
maybe?
all 5? I mean, okay, so
I
there's
think. Look,
this, there's No Time to Die, there is Skyfall. What are the other 2?
yeah, Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, duh, of course. And are we including Xenia Onatopp from GoldenEye as just BDSM? No, that can't be right.
No, that's not. I'm sure there's another one. Oh, On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh my god, of course, when he plays gay.
So it's a gayer franchise than people think it is. But yeah, canonical gay moments. This is up there as like number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, the novel itself is very explicit about both Tilly and Pussy having lesbian inclinations. I mean, Pussy says as much as we said in the beginning. You can turn off the charm. I'm immune. And that was the way of 1964 nodding to the fact that this is a woman who doesn't care about men. And this feels important to me that it's acknowledged in this franchise that I love that queer people exist, because queer people don't often exist in these films. And when they do, they are not characters that are anything other than to be laughed at. And here is a queer character who is to be taken seriously and who is like the 3rd most important part in the film.
We have this whole entire like queer flying circus, like the fact that she is a woman in charge of an all-woman flying circus, like people who are flying planes and doing stunts and stuff. And it's like, that's pretty liberated, like for a time when
Yeah.
women couldn't have bank accounts. You know,
Jesus, not wrong. Wow.
the queerness is not understated in this movie. It's through and through. And yeah, then we have the character of Tilly in the movie, this sad, angry butch in her tailored outfits. I'm noticing there in my notes, I'd said giving Jolie Richardson, giving Bosco.
Yes.
Bosco's there. She's the through line of it all. Tilly is very Bosco, very Jolie Richardson, and also very Elizabeth Debicki.
Yeah.
That
Who
is a
isn't she?
lineage of women.
She's every woman. Yeah.
So stylish.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of all of this glorious queerness, we have the straightifying of Pussy Galore, which is really the bisexifying. There's no good way of saying a thing that is
Doesn't
a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, but let's be clear, bisexuality exists. What is done in this film, I think, in the mindset of 1964, is that James Bond is such a masculine figure worth loving that he turns Pussy Galore from a lesbian into a straight woman. But from a modern reading, I think it's fair to say that she is a bisexual woman who is mainly interested in women, but along comes James and they make it work. And by make it work, I mean he forces himself on her and she has no choice in the most uncomfortable scene in the film.
It's the thing, in both interpretations, it's assault that turns her. And that is unacceptable, should be unacceptable to any audience in any era, but also is like a male fantasy of how sexuality works. Like, well, if you're just strong enough around a woman, she'll come around. It's absolutely grotesque.
Well, have you tried it?
Yeah, it's horrible. And it's the most objectionable part of this film by far.
Hands down. Yeah. Yeah, it's still hard to watch. And you could cut that scene from the movie and it wouldn't make a
Yeah.
difference, which makes it even more egregious. Like, it doesn't need to be in there. We are forced to watch this assault just as the character of Pussy is forced to endure it. And that is unfair to us as an audience. It's unfair to the character. It's unfair to women. It's unfair to honor black men who had to play along like this is okay. And it isn't. So you and I are agreed, and I'm sure our audience is as well, that that is not a good thing. And we can still enjoy this piece, but it has to come with that asterisk.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes James Bond is Trumpian too. So that's.
Men suck.
Let's get into the scores.
Yeah, let's.
So we score our movies on a scale of 0 to 5, and we add bonuses for women, the boys, the music, the fashion, the queerness, all the things we talked about. We can also deduct a point as a penalty if there's anything especially egregious in the film. So, Shane, let's kick off with our scores.
I mean, to give this a 5, this is one of, if not the best Bond films.
It's a 5 from me as well.
It's just so watchable from beginning to end in a way that so many of them are not.
I mean, we'll watch any Bond film, but that's us. And also, like, I don't know, to the general audience, like, I think to a general audience, this would stand out as a great movie of its time, but I don't know that everyone would appreciate it the way that a Bond fan would appreciate it now because of the things that you have to forgive or overlook. But, you know, if you love 60s cinema, this is one of the best examples of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Andrew, what are you going to give the women of this film? Are they going to get the point?
They get a bonus. They get the Pussy Galore alone would get the point, but so would Tilly. The Masters and Sisters together would definitely be worth a point. Honestly, Dink is worth the point, you know?
Yeah.
I love this film's women. I love that we do at least emerge with one woman getting to be a survivor and tough and iconic in the annals of cinema. It just really sucks that there aren't more women that survive the movie. But yeah, the women are as glorious in this movie as in any of the era.
Yeah, I do not disagree. They definitely earn a bonus in this film for, yeah, just being so cool and so badass throughout, and the fashion and the iconic legendary status of all of them. How about the boys? Do they get a bonus point?
So as I said, there aren't a lot of boys, though, you know, there's a lot of scenery in the background. So it does just come down to Sean Connery, but this is the best Sean Connery for me. This is the hottest Sean Connery. So I have to give him the point.
I mean, is it boring to just agree the entire way down? But I feel the same way. Like, usually, for me personally, it has to be more than just one person to get that bonus. But when that one person is just so fucking incredible from beginning to end and is so sexy in everything he wears, even a seagull helmet, like, yeah, that deserves a point, that he holds the movie all on his own the entire way.
We listen to your kinks about the seagull hat and we understand and we do not judge.
Thank you. I have set up a wish list on Amazon, and I'm just putting it out there that I'm accepting gifts.
Maybe your friend Jeff Bezos can kick something in for that.
Jeffrey. All right.
Music.
The music. Does the song Goldfinger, one of the great tragedies of the modern era, that it doesn't have an Oscar for Best Original Song, does that song alone deserve a bonus point? Or does the incredible soundtrack that sells the action and the romance and the intrigue throughout, does that deserve a bonus point? Oh God, it's so hard to make up my mind. Yeah, I'm giving it the bonus point.
Of course, we're both giving it the bonus point. I mean, which is the most obvious of the bonus points in this movie? Because really, we're stretching out a very simple process here. The next subject is fashion, and it's getting the bonus point.
Yeah, obviously. Like, there's just no way it can't. It is one of the most fashionable movies, and the fashion is relevant today. And then queerness. I mean, we just talked about it, but this is one of the few times where queerness is actually on screen and not as a joke. So I'm giving it the bonus for queerness too.
Pussy Galore is an iconic screen lesbian, and she gets the point.
Yep. Okay. This is what it comes down to. Is it a perfect film, or does blatant assault, and I mean, we didn't even talk about it, but casual racism throughout the entire film. Does that detract from this being a perfect movie?
Anyone listening who hasn't done the maths, we have just both given this film 10 out of a possible 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So the penalty is really the decider here. But yeah, I'm applying the penalty for me, and I suspect you are too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is the one thing that makes this movie hard to watch at points. And if it didn't happen,
It's hard to
then
recommend.
it would be hard. It is like, for people who are like, oh, well, what's James Bond all about? I've never seen one. I would rather point them to Casino Royale, which has its own issues around consent and stuff, but is at least not as, I hate to say it that way, but it's true. Like, yeah, it just takes me out of the film in a way that I'm sure they didn't intend and was a bit more acceptable at the time. Just want everyone to see acceptable in huge air quotes. Like, it's not how I feel about it. It just sucks to watch.
So it gets a penalty, which means it is 9 out of 10, which that's right.
That is right. I mean, this is an
Close to
incredible
perfect.
movie. It is so close to perfect. And everything that it does right, it does really, really right.
I think we both would recommend this film, but you have to have that conversation. Like, you have to caveat the recommendation, which is so frustrating. Men ruin everything.
Men ruin everything. Well, speaking of men ruining everything, we should end this episode.
Yes, there's so many men out there to ruin my life.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to get right out there.
Well, kiss, kiss, my darling.
Bang, bang, my love. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can follow Kiss Kiss Bang Bang on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at KKBBpod, or email us at kisskissbangbangpod@gmail.com.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is recorded in Toronto on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples.